Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Ron is here. Welcome back, everyone, for more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. I'm excited to do this relatively short video this evening and share with you guys something that I actually have not seen hardly ever on YouTube. I'm sure it exists. I haven't seen it recently. And that is Scientology using its machine. They call it the E-meter, the electropsychometer, but they just call it the E-meter. This is the machine, using their machine to sell books, using their machine to sell Dianetics books on the sidewalks of American cities. This is the same machine that Scientology uses in its auditing sessions. Its auditing sessions, its security check sessions, its interrogations. This is the machine Scientology uses to guide its interrogations. They also use it to try to sell you books. So I live in Clearwater, Florida. You will not see Scientology on the sidewalks of Clearwater, Florida, with tables set up using this machine to sell books. That's really because you can't join Scientology in Clearwater, Florida. You can only join Scientology at lower level Scientology organizations. And the giant organization here in Clearwater, Florida is the highest level organization. But in many cities around the country, you will see Scientologists out there on the sidewalks selling these books and using this machine. The video I'm going to share with you is about 7 minutes long. And it is from a gentleman named Aaron Ra. And this is his channel, Aaron Ra, 325,000 subscribers. And I don't know exactly where this video was taken. Aaron's Facebook page says he lives in Garland, Texas. There's no Scientology organization in Garland, but Garland is north of Dallas. So this video might be, this was just a couple weeks ago, by the way, that he did this video. So this might be in Dallas, Texas. You guys might have noticed out in Los Angeles, where you have Streets LA and Jessica Palmadessa going out to the Hollywood Test Center, you don't see the Scientologists setting up these tables, selling Dianetics books using the E-meter. You only see them passing out flyers for Scientology videos, personality tests, and I don't know why. It might have to do with permits needed to maybe put a table out on the sidewalk. I don't know. I don't even think that's true. I'm just coming up with possible reasons, but I've seen people on Hollywood Boulevard put up tables and put out stuff. Anyway, I don't know. I just think it's interesting that you don't see them doing the E-meter and the books in LA, but it is something that you should see outside most lower level Scientology organizations. And by the way, for anyone in the Tampa Bay area, if you are ever at some sort of a swap meet or a farmer's market or a flea market where you see Scientologists with their Dianetics shirts and their books and their E-meters and their tables out there, please message me directly, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on email, growingupinscientology@gmail.com, because my fantasy is to be able to find this going on near me. Actually, I just realized I did see a video where Streets LA was at some sort of a farmer's market type thing, and he found them using the E-meter selling the Dianetics books. It was one of these things where you had to pay to have a setup and a table and everything, and the organizer of the event kicked Streets out. But you don't just see them raw dogging it on the sidewalks, as they say. Oh, wait, that means something else? Okay, I take it back. Okay, so this is the... I'm going to play this at normal speed. I want you to get the sense of how the Scientology recruiter does his thing. The recruiter had absolutely no chance of working his magic with Aaron Ra. Aaron Ra really gave him a hard time. I think that's why he was there, which is more power to him. Let's take a look at this, guys. I might give you a little bit of commentary here and there since it's a relatively short video, but let's see how this goes down. Here we go.
You want to do a strip test?
Oh, you know, I'm going to turn on closed captioning. This guy has a heavy Latino accent. And for some reason, even the closed captions are a little hard to see on this. So I might try to repeat what he says sometimes if I think it's not totally clear.
You want to do a strip test?
Do you want a stress test?
So you have a ring, something like a ring. A ring? Yes.
Yes.
He's asking him if you have any rings on his hands, because if you pick up the cans of the e-meter and you have rings on your hands, it'll cause the needle to rock slam, which is the Scientology word for the needle slashing back and forth.
Will you put it on your pocket? Okay. And then I want to ask you to hold the can.
Guns?
Cans.
Cans.
You have another ring there?
Scientologists do call them cans. Hold the cans, please. Squeeze the cans. And anyway, I can't help but point out here that even when I was in Scientology, it was always, this is a pure gimmick. Like, this whole thing is a pure gimmick. Even saying the e-meter reads stress, Scientologists don't even believe that the e-meter reads stress. That's not how the e-meter works on a scientific basis. It's also not how the e-meter works even based on what L. Ron Hubbard says. And it's purely a gimmick to sell books. And, you know, anyway, we'll just keep going.
Yes.
It's possible to put it in your pocket. Thank you, sir. All right. Oh, this is the. Yeah.
Okay, he did not yet have the cans plugged into the e-meter, so that's what he's looking for, is the end of the leads.
So this is machine is help us to how to find what stress you. Okay. See the needle moving there. I'll put the needle. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Literally anything makes that needle move. So the slightest physical movement makes that needle move. A quick little inhale through your nose can make that needle move. Thinking about something you're excited about can make the needle move. Getting startled can make the needle move. Thinking about anything you're anxious about can make the needle move. Thinking about something that you're super happy about can make the needle move. But you'll see, he literally uses that, like any movement of the needle is, see, that's stress. That's stress.
Okay. I want to ask you a question. You don't have to hold it not too tight. Not too tight. Yeah, light holding. Okay.
Now, guys, what does it mean for the state of Scientology that this is an American, a Scientology organization in an American city, and they're trying to sell this book to Americans, and they're sending a guy out there who barely speaks English?
When the needle moves to the right, and then it shows stress.
Okay.
When as you already something there. Okay, good. Think of situations and problems in your life that is causing you stress.
Okay.
Did you think of something?
No.
No.
What you just saw play out is pretty much exactly how a Scientology auditing session goes. You ask the person a question, the meter gives a reaction. You ask the person, did they think of anything? And they go, no. And then you have to help them figure out what it was they were thinking when you asked the question. Eventually, when someone understands how an auditing session works, they understand the fastest way to get through the session is to just come up with an answer and don't fight the auditor. But I just thought it was funny that he's like, no, I didn't think of anything.
Okay.
I mean, money, you know.
Money. Okay. All right. I think of something else that's causing you stress.
But there is nothing else.
Nothing else. Okay. Like, what about relationship?
The world
family?
is on fire, so there's that.
Well, yeah. Your job, work, family.
No, the world.
The world. Oh. Okay. All right. Well, that is
We have a psychopath in office and destroying everything the Constitution stood for. All of that. That's stressful.
That is stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something I do think the same way, but it's nothing that I can do about that. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me ask you a question now. What is something in your life that is messing up your life? What's something in your life that is bothering you?
No.
Nothing.
I didn't elect that clown. I didn't set the world on fire. I didn't cause all of this stuff to happen. I'm just doing whatever I can to stop it.
Okay. So it's kind of that one, but nothing of your family relationship with wife. the boss, the job work.
This is my wife, I think 15 years now.
His wife standing next to him. He's like, "Does your wife stress you out?" I can't help but offer some thoughts on this. Now, so the guy's asking questions about stress. What are you stressed about? Is there anything you're stressed about? First of all, what the hell does this have to do with the Dianetics book? Nothing. The Dianetics book is not about stress. That's why this whole thing is a gimmick. The e-meter is a gimmick. The questions are a gimmick. The whole routine is a gimmick. Because honestly, if the book was just about stress and techniques to handle stress, what do you need the e-meter for? It's like you don't need the e-meter for anything at all. I think the technique here is basically like they're supposed to use the e-meter to indicate that, oh, that's real. See, the e-meter indicates that there's stress associated with this, and this book will handle the stress. But guys, the book has nothing to do with the e-meter. The Dianetics book was written before the e-meter even existed in Scientology. In fact, the auditing procedure as given in the book Dianetics doesn't even work with an e-meter. You do not use an e-meter when doing book 1 Dianetics auditing. So this whole thing is just a charade. It's to make it look science-y. It's to make it look, see, the meter registers your stress. So your stress is real. This book will fix it for you. All right, let's see what else goes on here.
Yeah. Okay. So that is nothing there is causing you stress, right? Or something.
I feel bad that I said he barely speaks English. He actually has a pretty good vocabulary.
Good,
It's not
good.
about me. I'm looking at things bigger than me.
Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. So, well, we have this book, Dianetics, and it helps us to find more. It helps us to become more happier and competent. This is what the Dianetics is about.
I'm pretty happy and confident.
Well, yeah, you are, and that there is also ways to get even better, to get
When you fix the world.
See, I just can't help it. If all you're going to do is be like, hey, the book makes you happier and more confident, and it helps you whether you're unhappy and lack confidence, it will give you some of that. And if you're already happy and you already have confidence, it will give you more. What's the point of the e-meter? It's totally silly.
World.
self-improvement.
It's not. I'm not about that. I'm improving things bigger than me.
Well, those are how is the world going? It is. Let me see here.
Oops.
I don't know what it is saying here, but Elron Hubbard wrote this book in 1950.
Yeah, I know. When he prefaced it also saying that if you wanted to get really rich, then don't write for a certain number of cents per word as a writer, invent a religion. So then he invented a religion and got stinking rich.
Well, he's passed away, and he was a writer, and he makes money because he wrote many books.
Made up a whole bunch of stupid bullshit, and people bought into it.
By the way, what the recruiter here just said is what Scientologists believe. They believe that the reason L. Ron Hubbard died with $600 million in the bank is because he made all that money from writing his Western and his fiction and his fantasy. But the truth is, by the time L. Ron Hubbard finished his writing career and published Dianetics and then moved on with Scientology, he was dead ass broke and bankrupt. All of the money L. Ron Hubbard died with was money he got from Scientology. And this is why... I'm gonna do a little. Oh, all right. This is why the IRS took away Scientology's tax exempt status in the late 50s, early 60s. Scientology had tax exemption in the beginning, and then the IRS took it away, and then Scientology got tax exempt status again in 1993. Now, when I was in Scientology, I thought that when Scientology got its tax exemption in 1993, that was the first ever time. Most Scientologists do not know that the IRS took away Scientology's tax exemption because they determined L. Ron Hubbard was personally enriching himself from the monies of Scientology.
Mm-hmm. Well, he wrote this book, and like you said, there is a race between genetics and the atomic bomb.
Okay.
You know that?
No.
It was written by a journalist, or journalist.
Okay. What has this got to do with me, my life, or my stress level?
So, by the way, he said there was a race between Dianetics and the atomic bomb. L. Ron Hubbard was using the whole nuclear scare as one of the things to sort of push Scientology and sell Dianetics. And this is another thing that Scientologists actually believe, is that it is only because of Dianetics and the positive effects on society and the world from Dianetics and people using Dianetics and then Scientology that nuclear holocaust was avoided. They actually do believe this.
Well, it have to do with becoming more happier and competent.
Well, when there's less injustice in the world, I'll be happier.
Well, yeah, always that will be true, right? If it's, the world is around us, it will be less crooked people. It will be much better for everybody. That's a given, right?
Okay.
But we cannot do now. We can only work on ourselves, because
Okay.
you cannot work on Donald Trump. You cannot work on the politicians. You cannot work on that.
Yeah, you can, and I have, and I do.
Okay,
Yeah, you can.
but you can do something that you can in politics and work. But that, like you said, that is bigger than us. That, what's going on with the United States and China and Russia, and there is, I think it's something above us. We cannot. Well, we can do a little bit, but it is a lot going on between United States, Russia, China, the world economics, and all this.
Right. And how is a book of made-up nonsense by a fiction writer going to improve my life?
Well, then you will say nonsense, and you have to read the book.
No. You can give me facts out of the book, and when we check those facts and find out that they're not facts, well, then that discredits the book.
Well, this I can help you if you said that.
Yeah, I need facts. I don't need to buy a book hawked by somebody who's just trying to make money, taking everybody's money by convincing them of things that are not true. I need things that we can show to be true. Now, if you're making claims, or if the book is making claims that we can show to be true, that are positively indicative of that conclusion, well, now we got something. But I don't think you do. No religion does.
It's not religion. This is a modern side of the mental health.
Oh, he said it's not religion. He said it's not religion. The IRS has entered the chat and would like to have a conversation. Okay, so why would a Scientology recruiter say this is not religion? Because this is one of the gimmicks in Scientology. Dianetics came first. It was 1950. When L. Ron Hubbard wrote Dianetics, there was no Scientology. It wasn't Dianetics and Scientology. He hadn't come up with Scientology yet. And Dianetics wasn't supposed to be, not only was it not supposed to be a religion, it was very specifically not religious in any way, shape, or form. Dianetics doesn't talk about thetans. Dianetics doesn't talk about past lives. Dianetics doesn't talk about any of that stuff. And it's called Dianetics, the modern science of mental health. And back in the old days, L. Ron Hubbard would even say that a Church of Scientology organization should have two separate entrances to the building. And one of the entrance should be for the Hubbard Dianetics Foundation, and for people who are only interested in Dianetics and not Scientology. And the other entrance should be for the Church of Scientology. This is something that kind of has fallen out of favor in Scientology, and they don't really worry about it. They don't really worry about two different entrances. But really, you have to understand, like, Scientologists view the book Dianetics at this point, like in this day and age, as nothing more than an introduction to Scientology. They are one and the same. Except they don't use the procedure that was given in the book Dianetics. They called the book Dianetics Book 1. The only version of Dianetics that's actually used in Scientology is called New Era Dianetics. But you can still walk into a Scientology organization and take a course about the book Dianetics and do some introductory auditing using the technique as given in Book 1. But it's only an introduction to the real stuff. But that's interesting, right? A perfect example of a Scientology recruiter trying to pretend like, no, this is not a religion. And that is why you will only ever see Scientology recruiters on the street. If you find them selling books, it will only ever be the Dianetics book. It will never be a Scientology book. It will not be New Slant on Life or Fundamentals of Thought or anything else. They will only be selling the Dianetics book so that they can say it is a science. It is mental health. It is not religion. All right, let's see what's left.
Modern science, mental. It's a science about the mind. It's about the mind. It's not like the psychiatrics or the doctors tell you that you have a disorder syndrome or something or the other, like a disorder of deficit attention disorder or something.
So there's nothing in this that has anything to do with my stress level. And these the book's full of factless nonsense will not make my life any better.
Okay.
And probably walking away from this table might make your life better.
Okay, that may be so. Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Okay, there you go. You know, it's tough out there for a Scientology recruiter these days. It's almost impossible to get someone into Scientology. It's not totally impossible. It's just almost impossible. Everyone out there's got a cell phone. A lot of people out there have YouTube channels. I mean, this is. I mean, I like to see this. I like to see Scientology recruitment efforts documented on video, put onto the internet, showing everyone how they actually do this, what their routine is. It would be really interesting to see the exact approach that they take compared city to city, because they are trained on a script. They are trained like on a sales pattern. And, you know, one thing that I thought was interesting is back in the day, they used to do these stress tests by actually pinching you. And someone told me recently that people were instructed to stop doing the pinch test, that maybe there was some sort of a liability to causing someone's slight pain. But that's actually how they would do the test. Because if you're holding the cans of the e-meter and you say, can I pinch your arm? I'm going to give you a pinch. And you pinch them, that needle will fall to the right hard. And it was a much more effective test than what the guy actually did in this video. So they're holding the cans, you pinch them hard because you want that needle to fucking fall. And so you pinch them hard, the needle falls off, you use the tone arm to bring the needle back on the dial, and you say, can you recall the moment of the pinch? And almost 100% of the time, that needle just bangs down again. And you go, see, that was a more effective way to use the e-meter when trying to sell them a Dianetics book, because that's what Dianetics is actually about. It's about your subconscious mind, that Hubbard called the reactive mind, recording moments of pain and unconsciousness, and that these things basically last forever and they get restimulated later in time, and the words in the incidents react against you negatively. And so the e-meter test had some relevance to the book that you were selling. So and so you're causing them a little bit amount of pain. You're telling them that's recorded in the mind in a facsimile, and then you're asking them I'm sorry, I'm looking at the live chat. And then you're asking them to recall the incident, and then you're saying the e-meter is measuring the energy that was stored in that picture. It was relevant. Now they're just using it as a freaking sales gimmick. It was always a sales gimmick, but now it's not even a relevant sales gimmick. It's like, oh, you have anything you're stressed about? Yes. Oh, see, the meter indicates that you do have stress. That's not even how you use an e-meter. It doesn't even make any damn sense, folks. Okay, so thank you, Aaron Ra, for posting that to YouTube. I appreciate it. If anyone else finds Scientology booksellers and recruiters on the sidewalk, even if you don't have a YouTube channel, maybe try to record some of that for me and send it to me at growingupinscientology@gmail.com. All righty, let's go through some starred comments and we will wrap this up. 49ers for life. They used to go out in LA, but streets ended that. Tommy Parmesan, they did the e-meters outside the test center for a while. Did they really? Wow. I mean, for sure. I'm sure streets is the reason they're not doing that anymore. I guess it's easier just to run inside. It's easier to run inside when Streets walks up if you don't have a giant table and chairs and books and an e-meter. And I guess it would look really weird if the recruiter is like jumped up and ran inside and abandoned table, books, and chairs and an e-meter on the sidewalk. That could turn out interestingly. All right, how do you say this? Ayer Salon? Ayer Salon. I saw postings on the Panera bulletin board around Easter that Scientology was having a community Easter egg hunt and family fun day for Easter. Strange for a non-Christian religion. Yes, it is strange. Scientology views a holiday like Easter just like they view Christmas, just a holiday. So Scientologists celebrate Christmas, but not because they believe in Jesus or God or anything like that, but they believe in trees and presents and dinner. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Gina from Cologne. Oh, wow. He looks like Aaron Ra, the atheist debater, the man with the long hair. It is, in fact, Aaron Ra, the one and the only. Ren again. Oh, look, it's the Easy Bake Oven. Yes, the Mark 8 Ultra E-meter looks remarkably like the Easy Bake Oven. Mark Stebbins came for the stress test, stayed for the niacin doses. All right. Eric Rader, you see the needle move? That's trauma. Maria K, I remember doing that e-meter stuff. It's basically a guessing game. There's no way to say that the situation you're talking about is what is actually bothering you. I know for a fact that people lie. Marilyn Honig, good to see you. The e-meter is like a nagging girlfriend. What are you thinking about? Oh my goodness. What? Says Miscavige in short shorts floats my needle. Eric Rader says they're hoping the e-meter makes them look scientific. Yes. Gina from Cologne, maybe you could invite Aaron for a live stream. That would be hilarious. I mean, if there was something about Scientology he wanted to talk about, I'd be happy to chat with him. But otherwise, I think showing the video is probably good enough. Maria K says, so true. I did Dianetic seminar and we did auditing without an e-meter, but like it's still a 10-year-old giving therapy to a grown stranger about his traumatic experience. His story gave me trauma. Yes, indeed. Mary James, I almost feel bad for this guy. He's fighting for his life and he's out of bullets. Eric Rader, Scientology registrar, why did you stop payment on your check? Me, I stopped mocking it up. Rusty, good to see you, Rusty. I feel like it's been a while. The purpose of the e-meter in stress tests is the same as the personality test, to find something that bothers you, your ruin, and sell you Scientology to fix it. It's true, but the reason why it's so silly to even have the e-meter there is because you're asking him a question. Well, let's say if you say, hey, what's causing you? If you say, hey, is something causing you stress? And let's say he gives you an answer, but let's say the e-meter doesn't react at all. You're still going to take up his answer because his answer is what matters in the conversation about selling a book, not, what the e-meter is doing. Helena Farkas, once OSA identifies the guy, someone is getting lower conditions. Farrell Cheryl, they had a table set up in Palm Harbor today. You're kidding me. With the police and the firefighters. Cheryl, you'll have to tell me more about that. Wow, Palm Harbor. Where? I don't even know that I've ever even been to downtown Palm Harbor. Anyway, I'll talk to you about it afterwards. Northern Girl, if memory serves, they sometimes try to set up their Dianetics tent near MacArthur Park in Los Angeles. Well, there you go. That's good to know. All right, everyone. I might do one other really short video tonight. But yeah, in fact, I definitely will. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.